when water flows through a pipe, there will be a pressure drop due to friction. Due to friction, so more the velocity, more will be your pressure drop. Okay.
Yeah.
So HF is equal to delta P by rho G. That is equal to FLB square by 2GD. So this is a. So this formula I'm not going to use anywhere. This is a third. Previous one, which one? Acha, TR wala. This one. So basically, the basic formula is Q is equal to M into Cp into delta T. Clear? So then you have Q, you have mass flow, and then you have Cp. So if I talk about this, so that becomes Q is equal to M into Cp into delta T. If I convert this into tons, then this becomes TR is equal to GPM into delta T by 24. Clear? Any doubts? I told you here what you have to do is basically 12,000 divided by 8.33 divided by 60. So that is what? 24. So this 24 is this 24. To convert BTUs per hour, what I did was I divided this by 12,000. So if I divide here also by 12,000, then this will cancel and the 24 will remain. So that is this 24. I hope it is clear. So once you have this formula, if you know the TR, so let's say I am saying 100 TR, I have to find out GPM. I have to find out GPM. Delta T I know by actual measurement it is 10 degree Fahrenheit. So if I put these values here, then I get GPM how much? Tell me. 240. 100 multiplied by 24 divided by 10. 240. Clear? So if I'm talking about GPM per TR, so this divided by 100, that is 2.4. Clear? Okay. So once you have done this, now you have to find out condenser ka flow. So condenser mein this TR becomes THR, total heat rejected. That is this 100 TR plus whatever is consumed by what? Compressor. So it was 70 kilowatt. So 70 kilowatt ko I will have to convert it into TR. So that is divided by 3.517. So I'm getting somewhere around 119. So 119 is equal to GPM multiplied by delta T, that is 7.5 divided by 24. That is what we have done in this page. 7.2, sorry, not 7.5. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So can I go to the next page? Now you remember two formulas. One is this formula, 2.4, and the other is this. Chilled water it is 2.4 GPM per ton, and it is 2.4 GPM per ton. So you can say somewhere around 3 GPM per ton rough, and 4 GPM per ton. Why? Because once we know the tonnage, we need to calculate the flow. Once we know the flow, only then we can calculate dia. So can I move further?
Yes, sir.
So we were here. So basically, what I'm going to tell you here is basically Your pressure drop HF is basically square of velocity, and because of friction, it is directly proportional.
Yeah.
So you have this formula, but this formula is very complicated. Practically, it is very difficult to use this formula. So what we do is we have basically charts. We'll see those charts. The chart is something like this. Acha, kahan hai? Chart is something. Chart is something like this. Okay. So we'll come to this later on. So friction resistance is proportional to surface area of contact and square of velocity. So next line is the frictional losses can be found by analytical approach as used in fluid mechanics, but actual practice it is somewhat difficult. The mathematical evaluation of all these factors is too laborious, and for most practical purposes, a general rule, the friction losses in pipe determined from the charts and tables. So that is given by what? Total pressure drop in PSI is equal to pipe length multiplied by pressure drop in PSI divided by length. So they have made a chart for 100 feet length. So whatever reading you get, that is for 100 feet. For example, let's say your total pipe length is 50. So 50 multiplied by whatever pressure drop you are getting, let's say 0.1. So divided by 100. If this is instead of 50, if this is 500, then this will become 500. So accordingly, your pressure drop will increase or decrease. I hope it is clear.
So this is with the consideration that that is a uniform pressure drop with the uniform velocity.
Come again. I didn't get you.
Sir, this is the we are considering that there is a uniform pressure drop with the uniform velocity in the respective pipe length, unit
No,
pipe
no,
length.
no. See, basically, wherever you know the flow, you know the
Okay.
flow for every pipe length, you know the flow, you know the diameter. So you know the pressure drop. So for every length, you have to calculate that pressure drop separately.
Okay.
Okay. So basically, in a straight pipe, the resistance to flow water through pipe due to friction is determined from the table. There are basically two tables. One is for closed piping and the other is for open piping, because both are at different pressures. So we have different two charts. And we have already seen pressure drop is equal to length of the pipe multiplied by friction loss in feet divided by 100. That's given in your basically chart. And then for fittings, pressure drop in fittings, pipe fittings such as bends, elbows, T's, walls, etc., offer a greater resistance to flow, and then does the straight pipe. Hence, fittings must be taken into account in determining the total friction. So pressure drop across your walls will be more. So you have to find out from the manufacturer what is the pressure drop across each wall. Let it be isolation wall, let it be balancing wall, let it be control wall, let it be 90-degree bend, let it be 45-degree bend. So every bend or wall will offer more resistance. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So for that also we have charts. If you have the actual values, you have to take actual values. If you don't have the actual values, then we have some charts. We have to follow those charts. Pressure drop by each fitting is expressed in terms of length, which is known as straight pipe for same pressure drop. That length is known as equivalent length. So the chart what we will be referring will be getting in equivalent length. For example, I have one isolation wall. What will be the straight length? So that's how I'll be first calculating my what?
Total length.
Total length. So if you your manufacturer gives you basically a pressure drop across wall in maybe kgs or in any other units, then what you have to do is you have to convert that into equivalent length, or You have to add that separately by converting that equivalent length, whatever pipe length you have, plus whatever is the pressure drop across that wall. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
So total pumping head in a system, pressure loss taken place through various components such as condenser, chiller, cooling tower, pipeline, etc., with various fittings. Sum of all these is known as total pump head. So now what you're doing is you're pumping water. That water goes through isolation walls, so that will have some pressure drop. Then there will be a NRV. NRV is what? Non-return valve. Then you will have chiller coil. So chiller coil will also offer some resistance. Then you have a HU coil, or HU coil will also have some resistance. In condenser circuit, you will have cooling tower. Cooling tower will have some height. So that is also a pressure drop. So you will take all those pressure drops, add them. When you add them, that will give you your pump head. So to select a pump, you need two things. One is flow, the other is head. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You have learned how to calculate flow. Now you are learning how to calculate head. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So before we learn how to calculate head, let's see what should be the basically the velocities. See, basically, whenever you do any selection, let it be duct, let it be pipe, anything. The first thing you should know is the velocity. What is the velocity, recommended velocity that you should have? You should know that. Okay.
Okay.
So size piping at minimum of 2 FPS to move free air bubbles to tower. And it says your minimum velocity should be 2 feet per second to move the free air bubbles to tower. If your velocity is less than 2 FPS, then what will happen? Anybody? Anybody tell me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So basically what is happening is you have water here. So that water is coming back and that water is going down. So if your velocity here is less than 2 FPS, then what will happen is air bubbles will separate and they'll start moving up. If they start moving up and your water is supposed to go down, your pressure will increase. Yes or no? So that's how we have come to a conclusion that your minimum velocity should be 2 FPS. It should not be less than 2 FPS. Or you should not have any water in the, or you should not have any air in the system. So from where does this air come? So air can be in three forms: large bubbles, micro bubbles, micro bubbles, small bubbles, and dissolved air. So dissolved air also can separate if your velocity is less than 2 FPS. So now you have understood your velocity should never be less than 2 FPS. If I have velocities less than 2 FPS, there can be a problem of air releasing, and air releasing means there will be more pressure drop. But only thing is we can ensure that there is no air. In that case, I will not have any problem. So that means I can, on lower side, I can have even lower velocities. But the moment I increase the velocity, what is the problem? There will be more friction, more head, more erosion. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So at part load, what happens? Your velocities in head reduces. So what will happen is that you can have a possibility that during part load, your velocities goes below 2 FPS. So that's why when I say header, I can have more velocities. Like here I was saying 2 FPS. Here I'm saying minimum 4 FPS. So I can have anything between 4 to 15. I hope you have understood this. This is again recommendation from Carrier Handbook. This is adopted by ASHRAE also. I'm not sure whether this is in ASHRAE Handbook or not, but this chart is from ASHRAE Handbook. Clear? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Can I move further?
Yes, sir. You can.
So basically, the first thing was your velocity. Second thing is you should know that your pressure drop in the pipe should lie anything between 0.5 to 8 feet per 100 feet of length. Similarly, if I talk in terms of meter charts are also available. That can be 0.5 to 8 meters, because friction is what? Unitless. So that's why this is same, 5 to 8. I hope it is clear. Hello. So that's how we do our selection. So first what we do is, instead of taking 2, I've taken 3, and upper side I've taken 8. I don't want to go below 3, but yes, if I have a situation, I may even go up to 2. I don't have any problem. And upper side, I should not cross 8. Okay. Then frictions, what I've done is 0.5 and 8 I have marked. Higher the friction, higher will be the head. So I'll try to be very close to this line. I will always try to be very close to this line. I hope it is clear.
Sir, please explain again.
We have just now seen that our velocity should be very close, should be more than 2 FPS.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm saying instead of 2 FPS, I'm targeting 3 FPS. Okay.
Okay.
So first thing what I've done is I've drawn this line. So I've drawn this line, and this line is my selection line for diameters. Here you have flows, different
Okay.
flows. You have flows over here. And maximum I can take is, that is 8 FPS.
Okay.
So any chart I said, the first thing, let it be ducting, let it be pipe. The first thing is you have to mark your lower and higher limit of velocity. Then mark lower and higher frictions. The lower friction can be 0.5. The highest friction can be 8. So I have marked these 4 lines.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
So now let's say my flow is 100 GPM, or let's say we had 100 TR. 100 TR के लिए we got at the rate of 2.4 240 GPM. So for 240 GPM, 240, so it will be somewhere here. So what should be your pipe size?
5 inch.
5 inch. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So I further mark it. I would say try to be within this limit. Okay. But if you ask me the selection, so generally what I do is I have made lines something like this. So it is something like this. Up till this flow, I'll follow this. After this, 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 I'll follow this. I generally follow this. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
So for the entire range, what I have done is basically I have made a zigzag pattern. In the end means I didn't get you.
You have the flow rate. Based on flow rate, what is the maximum friction and what is the minimum friction? Based on that,
Maximum. So 240 you said, so 240 is somewhere here. So 240, if I take a straight line over here, so it is coming as 5 inch. I said I want to be very close to this. Lower the friction, lower will be my head. Lower my head, lower will be power consumption. There is no problem if I go ahead with what? 4-inch pipe also. So in that case, what will happen is my friction will be somewhere 2.5 to 3 के बीच में. I can take as high as 8. But if I take, let's say 5 inch, then what happens is my friction is somewhere around 1.2. So which one is better? This one or this one? 5 inch better. So I will take 5 inch. I hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.